I wanted to do a quick video on a little Dot Mark VIII SE. Bought this about a year ago, and when I bought it, I couldn't find a lot of information on it. I couldn't find any reviews, and it's an amp, a tube amp, but that's what it is just an amp. I've got the bass unscrewed because I wanted to show you the dip switches in the bottom too. Where you can adjust the output power if you need it, and you've got to be pushing some heavy duty cans to need it, but it has it if you need it. So it's a basic amp. You know, you've got your output here, which is your 4-pin XLR. Everything's got Chinese, right? Everything's got your releases. It's got your phones, 1/4 inch. It's got your two VU meters, volume knob in the middle, and then a power knob over here. Right? It is completely balanced, right? Top to bottom. Everything is balanced. So you got your two sides, right? And it really is a pretty decent amp, at least in my opinion anyway. So let me just show you the back, and then I'll show you the dip switches, and then I'm going to screw the bottom on and fire it up. So on the back, it is a basic, you've got your inputs, RCA, and then XLR, and then XLR outs, 2 of them, and then power, and that is it. The way I normally run this on my desk is this, which is a beast, by the way. I don't know what it weighs, but 25 pounds probably. It normally sits on my desk, on top of my DAC. My DAC is a balanced DAC, so my XLRs come out of my DAC, into my amp, and then the XLRs come out of my amp right here and run into my monitors. So, all right, so I'm just going to turn this around again and show you. One of the troubles with an amp with this many tubes is that I had to try them out. So you buy all these other tubes, right? And I digressed. I just saw the tubes off to the side when I was spinning it around. We'll get to those in a second. We'll go to the bottom here, and then I'm going to screw the bottom on. So to get at these dip switches, you take the bottom off. And the bottom consists of 3, 6, 8, 10 screws, right? That go into the bottom all around it. And I'm just going to lean it there on the transformers. Yeah, that works. That works. Because I want you to see. So we've got our 2 channels, right? We got our right and left channels, and we got 2 dip switches, 1 and 2. And you want to, well, I guess if you had a problem with one of your channels or had lower hearing in one ear, you could bump it up a little bit. But at any rate, so you've got different settings. You can have one on. Right now they're both off, right? And then you can throw one on each side, or you could throw number 2 on each side, or you could throw both 1 and 2 on each side. So it gives you a little bit of control over the outputs out of the 2 different channels. And they're not huge bumps, but it makes a difference. And, I think I'd be surprised. I mean, it depends on what levels you want to drive it to and how badly you want to impact your hearing. I generally run it about mid. Which I don't think actually is absolutely necessary, but that's just where I run it. So I'm going to screw the bass on, and then I'm going to fire it up and show you how it works. Okay, we're back. So I've screwed the bass back onto the little Dot Mark VIII SE. We'll power it up. It takes a couple seconds because it's got to warm up on each side. And your left side warms up first, and then your right side. There's one. There's the other. Okay. So I'm simply feeding this from a DAP, right, which is plugged into the RCAs in the back, and it is really, I think it's understated in many ways. It sounds fantastic, and you're listening to this through these. I don't know if you want to put your head in there or not, but at any rate, we'll turn that down. The it's fun. Um, it, if you're going to do tubes, and this is, well, it's not my first foray into tubes, but it's first foray into tubes since solid state came along. They're the tubes don't get that hot. I can't stand the gold myself, but here, it's starting to darken up already, and I was thinking about taking them off and setting them outside for a few days and letting them weather, and they'll go black. Which to me I think would be preferable, but teach his own. It is what should I tell you here? The I've swapped tubes out. Are those cool? Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna use a cloth just in case anyway. But they are cool. So there it is. And I've swapped these out, and I can't recall what I actually have in here right now. Nor do I have the eyes to read that. Yeah, I can't recall. But I've done everything from, and I can look it up if somebody really wants to know. I've done everything from swapping the same tubes in the back and then different tube in the front. But so the same tubes on each side to this and this being the same tube and mixing and matching, just playing around. There's nothing wrong with the sound right out of the box. It is very good, I think, in my opinion. For if you're interested in getting into tubes. Now I've lost my focus for some reason. I don't know why. I guess it's the glare of the light. There we go. I guess it was the glare of the light coming in off the window. But if I don't know, I guess this is a mid-range. It's a truly balanced amp, which is what I was after. And I like the sound of balanced, and this achieves this. Now, having said all that, I probably should have rethought that and got into the slightly lower balanced product they had, because if I want a tube roll, I only have to roll X number of tubes, but it's not truly balanced, right? Like this is balanced, each side, identical. So I would, if you get a chance to listen to one, or if you're thinking about buying one, yeah, I think they're an excellent product. Well worthwhile. And they add a nice little velvety smoothness, softness to it. So anyway, if you liked the video, subscribe and hit like. That's all. Thanks.